Hello, everyone, and welcome to another DCU Daily. Well, we don't have a ton of stuff like last time, and we don't have technical problems like last time, but here we are going to discuss, a little bit of Superman, whether it's on TV or on the big screen. We have a couple of things in regards to Creature Commandos. James Gunn was doing yet another interview. I think that makes 1,200,517 now. We are going to be, talking about the alleged reshoots of Superman, as well as a couple other rumors and confirmations and clapbacks from the man himself. And once again, I am joined by Liz Marvel. Liz, how are you doing on this wonderful Friday evening?
I'm well, and it is a wonderful Friday because my interview with you, John, on my podcast, Try Not to Curse, has launched today. So if you guys want even more John and Elizabeth content, head over to any website, any streaming service that you listen to your podcast with, and search for Try Not to Curse, and you'll find me and John chatting it up about movies and TV shows and all that good stuff. So, hi
Hell
guys.
yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but yes, but let's get into the news before we all fall asleep on camera. First things first, we do have a little bit of Bitsy Tulloch was very excited and happy that apparently in Brazil, I don't know if it's everywhere, but at least in Brazil, which is nice because CCXP is happening or just happened or happening soon. Forget what the dates are for CCXP, but streaming on Max, Superman and Lois has reached number one. I believe we were talking about a couple weeks ago how it was, I think, like number 3 or number
Yeah, it was
4
it
in
was in the top
America.
5. Yeah.
Well, here America, not South America, but North
Right.
America, it was like number 2, number 3, number 4. And well, down south, we have it in, at least in one country, we have it in number 1. And as DC Film News said, it's well deserved. And Bitsy Tulloch was very excited about that. Quick
Well,
thoughts
and
on
look at
this.
and
Like,
Preacher Commando's right there at number 3 as
yeah,
well.
and Creature Commandos number 3. And Dune Prophecy number 2. Just they're killing it now.
Yeah,
HBO is killing it right now, whether
really.
it's not on Max or on cable or whatever.
Yeah.
But exciting. Are you happy with this news? Or are you like, nah, fuck this show.
I think
It's
it's really
over. It's
cool. I
done.
mean, again, I said that because back when we last looked at the North American numbers, Dune was number 1, and I said, well, yeah, it's a brand new show, so of course it's going to be number 1. Everyone's going to tune in and see what it's all about. So a little bit of the same thing going on with Creature Commandos. Everybody's been so excited for it to launch. So I would render a guess that's why it's still doing so well, because it's brand new. But really, I mean, Superman and Lois is just blowing my mind because again, you guys know I'm so very behind on everything. I've not seen a single episode, so it's like really crazy to me that this show that I know nothing about is doing so well, and it makes me want to go back and watch. So I'm gonna have to jump on the bandwagon, I guess.
Yeah, and even Todd Helbing, I think his name is, was talking about in an interview that he did the other some of the other villains that they had planned for the future of the show, if it didn't get canceled, was they wanted to include Brainiac. Milton Fine was a character that was associated with Brainiac in the comics. He was possessed by Brainiac, so it's entirely possible that that character would have come back, especially with the purple and green aesthetic he had on his workstation, which
Yeah.
is, the colors of Brainiac. So it's entirely possible if the show didn't get canceled in the future, he would have been brought back and possessed by Brannick. He definitely had like an alien look to him. So that would have been interesting. And then Todd Helbing was like, I don't know if DC would have let us done this, but he's like, I wanted to include Darkseid at some point. And I'm like, that would have been fucking amazing. It would have looked like shit and it would have been so toned down. But you know what? Superman just going against Darkseid. I've never been a huge fan of like Superman versus Darkseid. I always think Darkseid is properly a Justice League villain and should stay a Justice League villain. But
Okay.
I think it would have been fucking like insane if he's like, yeah, I would have planned Darkseid as the end game. I'm like, all right, you
Yeah.
know what? If the DCEU can't do it, might as well Superman and Lois probably would have been better. So you know but yeah, that was also really interesting. And Superman and Lois was a show that ended pretty well. I mean, the last season was rushed, budget cuts were prominent, like on screen, but even then, I still think it was a good ending to the show. It was emotional. A lot of people loved it. So I
Yeah.
think it definitely stuck the landing, even though it wasn't as good as the 3 previous seasons. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
well, yeah, from
happy
the
for
the
it.
news, the little bit of news that I'm seeing about it, a lot of fans, I mean, there are a couple of plot points that they don't go back to, they don't wrap up, but they're, the fans are hoping for maybe a movie to kind of, close up those storylines and really finish off the Arrowverse portion of this story. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't see why not. Again, it's doing so well. You would think they'd want to give us like one last little project, but you never know.
I mean, there also could be spin-off comics. That was,
Yeah,
I mean, everyone has. I mean, I feel like every DC show has gotten like a comic at some point. I know Crisis, when CW was doing that, they had a couple comics. I have one on my shelf. I'm gonna find it. I don't know where. Can't see it from here, but I got the first part. I never got the second part because they were like limited and they were hard to find. So, and
yeah,
plus at that point, I was kind of not caring about this about the fucking CW anymore. So,
sure.
you know, but yeah, this is great and exciting, and I'm happy for the show. Even past its death, it's still, there's going to be a legacy that will keep it, alive for
Yeah.
as long as it will go. So I'm cool with that. Like, awesome. Like, I'm good with that. So moving on to the next thing we have now. I did want I wasn't sure if I should put this up because it's most likely bullshit. However, bring out your salt licks with your giant grains of salt. This is probably bullshit. But I will put a spoiler warning just in case, because, I always try to be respectful of spoilers. Now, somebody allegedly in one of the Facebook groups I follow on DC, I think a guy named Adam Dean, claimed he found a something of someone that
Okay.
maybe there was a Superman test screening and posted a bunch of stuff in regards to that.
Totally credible. Totally
It's
credible.
it's a very much a trust me bro kind of thing. So, you know, uh I still want to. It's most likely BS, but like just in case, if you don't want to know anything Superman related, if you really just like, even if it is true, I'm like screw it. So, just like mute or like
Close
come
your
back,
eyes.
close your eyes, because we're gonna be going into alleged spoiler territory, even though it's probably not true. But here we have Superman text screening. Can't even spell test screening, right? He was talking about, and we know who the main villain is, even though James Gunn announced the main villain.
Right.
So it's very much vague stuff that have pretty much been confirmed. Superman is set years after his origin. Yes, we knew that. That has been confirmed. David plays Superman kind and funny at first, but he gets more aggressive when he's pushed. Apparently, his Clark Kent is identical to Reeves Kent. Yeah, that's might be, I mean, there's a heavy Superman the movie influence on the film, so that wouldn't be too much of a surprise. But him getting more aggressive when he's pushed, I've seen that from Superman. It just, I hope they don't go too far with that because that could be ridiculous. Um, Apparently he's seen past his prime already in the public's eye, even though this is a year two Superman, 2 years already past his prime. Okay. Superman is seen as an outcast for his polite optimism and no kill rule. This was rumored but never confirmed, so I think that's just feeding into a rumor that we've seen before. Other heroes are violent and edgy compared to old-fashioned Superman. Yeah, that was based on another rumor, and from what little we've seen of the set images. Um, and then Lex Luthor is the main villain. Yeah, we knew that. He's a warmonger trying to get into politics. It feels like, if I mean, that has been done with Lex Luthor in the comics, where he's very much like the anti Tony Stark, where he's like he sells weapons to
I
people,
was gonna
and
say that feels like very Tony Starky, like origin story vibes to
yeah,
me.
it feels
Yeah.
like, Obadiah Stane kind of shit. And, trying to get into politics. Yeah, we know who that's based on. So, but it is confirmed that John Byrne based his version of Lex Luthor off Donald Trump. So that's not, you know, too out of the ordinary, but let's move on before this comment section fucking goes into hell mode. He sees Superman as a way to he sees killing Superman as a way to make the public like him, even though I don't fucking see how that's. I mean, yes, that's a very much a Lex Luthor thing to do, but I don't see how that's the case, considering, yeah, he's seen past his prime, but I don't know how killing him would make that seems very stupid for even for Lex Luthor, but you know, I don't get that. That like I killing Superman, yeah, I can see that. Obviously, he would kill Superman, but the reasoning is fucking stupid because it makes no sense. Ultraman as a clone of Superman, yeah, that's been such a heavy rumor at this point that uh the guy wearing the U on his chest is a clone of Superman, and he's going to be called Ultraman. That's been a rumor for the longest time, so that like feeds into that. Lois was against Superman at first, but in the film, she's the key to saving him. So Man of Steel and BVS, okay. Rachel Brosnahan plays more fearless in this film than reporter. Definitely likes getting into trouble. So Margot Kidder's Lois Lane.
I was
Crypto
gonna
gets a
say.
short cameo. I could believe that that Crypto is not like hugely involved with the plot, just that he like kind of shows up maybe for that one scene with Mr. Terrific, and like him, busting through and like all that stuff, and then it's just for that one action set piece, which I could like maybe kind of see, but I don't know about that. Sets up Peacemaker, Supergirl, and other multiple DC films. I wouldn't be like totally like, again, I could see that because it's like building a universe, but the way it makes it sound is like very much in a ham-fisted like Marvel kind of way, where we have to like have 7 million post-credit scenes and cameos to set up this stuff. I don't think that's the case. Yeah, we do have like the Terrifics and Maxwell Lord that's gonna like set up maybe future stuff, but I don't think he's gonna just I don't think he's gonna shove Peacemaker, Supergirl, and other like shit. Like, we're getting Frank Grillo, who's we know is going to be in Peacemaker season 2. That's all we need to set up Peacemaker season 2.
Fine by me, yeah.
Supergirl shows up at the end finale. I don't think that's the case. Because like that's based on a rumor that it's because James Gunn specifically cast Millie Alcock that it's like that doesn't make sense even for a CEO's like point of view, even though he's the head honcho. Even the director would do that. So people are like, oh, because he cast her, that means she's going to show up. I don't think that's the case. It's entirely possible that Craig Gillespie, just took notes from James Gunn and was like, okay, I'll think about that. Auditioned a bunch of women and auditioned Millie Alcock and Meg Donnelly and whoever else. and and was just like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then he auditioned her. I have to see her for myself and then cast her, because we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I mean,
Right.
just yesterday we were talking about how apparently Brave and the Bold has had a writer and they're working on a script now, yet we don't know who that writer is. So lots of stuff we don't know has been behind closed doors. I don't think that's the case. But this is again an obvious thing. Supergirl's suit looks similar to David's Superman. Yeah, it's clearly a Kryptonian suit that looks like a Kryptonian suit. So like, I don't see how, like, I feel like that's very obvious. They would have the same crest of L.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see how that's felt very opposite of Man of Steel. Yeah, you could tell from the fucking set photos and what James Gunn has described the film as. Also, no longer running time than Superman 78, which I think was like 2.5 hours. So that makes sense. FX and music is still being worked on. Yeah, no shit. So I don't know. I just feel like half of this stuff is just confirmed stuff we've
Right.
seen from set
Right.
photos, what James Gunn has said, like
Right.
being set years after the origin. Lex Luthor's the main villain. Lois is a
Joy.
fearless
Yeah.
reporter. It's like, yeah,
Joy.
we can kind of gather that.
Yeah.
And then other stuff
It,
is just based on rumors. So
it's
it's
been what,
like,
like 70 years? Like this is all we know. We know all of
yeah,
this.
it's
So
like specifically everything is like based on rumor, and one of the few
yeah.
things is like so vague. Like film felt it's or like Supergirl suit looks similar to David Superman. Yeah, you could take that from context clues because they're both Kryptonians. They're part of the same family. They would both wear the crest of L. They would probably both wear blue and red suits. I don't know. I just feel like this is very much, uh just kind of bullshit, and it's just all
Again, get a
ridiculous.
life. That's just all I can say when I see stuff like this.
Yeah,
It's
very much
like
William
you're gonna
Shatner.
see the movie. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Like just be people just can't be patient for shit anymore. Like calm down. It's so dumb.
Yeah, it's just like, again, it's all just rumor mill. It's all, and there's no source for this. Like literally, I fucking posted on the goddamn post. Like I commented, I was like, "Yeah, source, trust me, bro." And like everyone, there was like tons of laugh reacts because it's like, yeah, it's just like it's either stuff we already know or rumors that have been in circulation for the past 6 months. So it's like nothing. There's nothing specific. There's not like a specific like this is exactly what happens type of stuff. So yeah, most likely bullshit. Don't worry about it.
Well,
It's
and
fine.
again, it's not even speculation. Like half of that stuff is all shit. Like that. Like thank you, Captain Obvious. Like we fucking know. Like it's not. Regardless of who's putting it out, who the writers are. Like you're giving us basic Superman storyline. Like okay. Like thanks. Sounds good. Like I just why do people waste their time? I don't understand. Oh, you're muted, sweetheart.
Trying to avoid the sneezing and blowing nose
It's
on
all good.
camera.
Just stare into the camera, it's there you
I mean,
go.
Hugo is with us today.
Hugo,
Uh
I hope you watched yesterday's because we had some good ones in there for you too.
we had some good smoldering.
John
But
had some great quotes yesterday as well.
great. Yes. Where's the music? Yeah. I just think because there's the fine line, and we talked about this yesterday and a few times now, of people. There's the fine line between being excited and just being an asshole, where it's like a lot of people just
Right.
like aren't like just want to keep talking about it. They want trailers, they want all this stuff because it's like it's still like a far, in our eyes, such a far ways away. It's
Yeah.
7.5 months until the movie comes out, and it's like, oh, that's such a far time away. But hey, think about it like this: just it feels like just yesterday we were talking about Superman being filmed in Cleveland. That was back in July. So that was 5 months ago.
Yeah.
See how
Well,
fast
you know
that
what?
can
Then go
go?
on and just say, "Oh man, I'm so excited. Oh man, I can't believe we still have to wait 7 months." Or don't just post bullshit for the sense of posting bullshit. Like that's the part of the internet that gives the internet a bad name, gang.
Yeah.
Like stop posting stupid shit in the hopes that like James Gunn isn't going to read your comments and be like, "Gang, we need to go back and rewrite some stuff because at Captain Obvious wrote that they want to see that like stop. Like it's so pointless. You're just wasting everybody's time.
Yes. Yeah, Jay, we're not covering. I mean, I say spoilers, but that's like very vague, like spoilers, but it's like not really.
Yeah.
Just in case.
It's stupid internet wishful
But
thinking.
but
Yeah.
it's like I even then I try to be respectful of people because there are people that like I don't watch trailers. I don't look at the set photos. I don't look at anything because I want to go in as blind as I can, even when it comes to bullshit rumor crap. So I like to be respectful of people who view it that way because like a buddy of mine was like talking. He's like, I watched the first teaser trailer and that's it. I only watched the teaser trailer, so I go in blind. He's like, I was just watching a movie the other day and there was a big reveal, and he's like, everyone was like not shocked because they saw it in the trailer. Meanwhile, I was shocked because I didn't watch the trailer. So yeah, I try to be respectful of that, and I don't try to like rain on people's parade with, even if it is 99% BS probability. So that's just what I like to do, because I'm a respectful man. Like, I try to be respectful of my audience, and it's my audience, Dan. No, I'm just kidding. But before we, let's just get out of this, because like I'm sick of fucking talking about this shit. But we have, James Gunn was talking about that the Superman that appeared, hit the golden age, like chains breaking and then flipping over to DC Studios. We were talking about, I think we were talking about this a couple weeks ago too, where like, oh, there was the alleged like idea that, oh, it would change based on the project. Like, oh, maybe it's like Frankenstein shows up for Creature Commandos, Peacemaker shows up. But he's like, nope. James Gunn's like, nope, that's not the case. It's going to be our MGM line. It's just going to be the same for everything, which, like, yeah, that makes sense. It was DC's first real character, even back before it was called DC Comics. And and it's the Golden Age version. So I feel like that makes sense. It's one of the most, recognizable, like breaking of the chains, all that. So, thoughts on this? Or do you like the fact how it's just going to stay Superman, or you're like, it would have been more fun to have it pertaining to each project?
No, I have no problem with that. I mean, because again, here's the deal. Like, Marvel changes up their logo every time they add a new character. They change up, the little intro. I don't know what it's called exactly, but don't do what everybody else is doing. And James Gunn is really, really thoughtful about that. So it makes perfect sense to me that he's like, no, we're keeping it this way. He's the OG. He's the start of this whole thing. Like, there wouldn't be a DC without Superman. So I totally get it. It's totally on brand for James. He doesn't mess around with stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I get it. I think it's very respectful as well.
Yeah, as long as you're respectful towards him, he'll be respectful towards you. And for someone who isn't respectful, we'll get to that soon enough. But yeah, speaking of, next thing we have, speaking of James Gunn, he was talking about how he was talking about Easter eggs, talking about the various Easter eggs of Creature Commandos, and just like him being cute, him being he was talking about how in this interview, we were talking about how this was all like he was writing Superman, he was writing Creature Commandos before he was the head of DC Studios. So it seemed like it was pretty obvious that they were going in that direction, and how he's talking about, soft reboot and that kind of thing. So it seems like they are, he was just kind of going through the motions and noticing like all the cameos as well, because we're talking about some of the Easter eggs.
It made me feel good because we touched on this the other day, and it looks as though we caught every Easter egg that he mentioned, at least in this little interview. But also, like, when does the man sleep? Jesus Christ! Like, I don't understand
think he does.
How he's everywhere all the time and addressing everything like in literal real time. Like, holy shit, dude! Don't you have things to do?
As Dan said, he's gonna put the internet out of business. Like,
it's wild. Yeah,
he's just. I feel like it's like respectful in a way, because it's like he's just, he doesn't want bullshittery to be out there, and he's like, I feel like he's like a one-man army against that, where he's just trying so hard to not like have like the the scoopers of the world just getting like every like, oh yeah, fucking Snowflame is gonna appear in Superman, and it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where did you get that? What are you talking about? So I feel like, you could see this whole thing. We're not gonna play the whole thing so we don't get like demonetized or something. But it's he was just talking about like his like process and like some of the fun Easter eggs he was putting in there, like he put like Shaggy and talking about Project Starfish, what's canonical in regards to the Suicide Squad and what isn't, and all that. So you could check that. It's on Rotten Tomatoes Instagram, and he also was on Instagram Live, so I'm sure you could find it if you're on Instagram. So yeah, just
He's
like
everywhere.
fun little
He's
things
everywhere.
from the man who does not sleep, apparently.
I mean, honestly, clearly he does not.
Yeah,
And if he's
and
not being interviewed, he's posting pictures of his dog. So
I
he's just,
mean, respectful. And then, yeah,
yeah,
it was also mentioned that Rick Flag Sr. is going to have a smaller role in Superman because people were like, oh, it's going to be huge. It's like, he was there for like one scene, guys. Come on. I
yeah.
know we want to see more of Frank Grillo. I know we love Frank Grillo.
Who doesn't? Yeah.
So, we want to see more of him. But it's just a small, tiny role, guys. Calm down. Anyway, so and he also wanted to quickly address this because there are some international viewers that are like, hey, what about us? We want to watch Creature Commandos 2 legally. You could always watch it illegally, guys. It's
I
not that big
mean,
of a deal. But like,
the
just in
internet is
case.
fast. Yeah.
But there are, he was talking about for those of you asking, Creature Commandos launches on Max today, everywhere where Max is, including Japan on Max with Unext. But for people in Australia, India, and Canada, it's going to be on Binge in Australia, Geo Cinema in India, and coming to Adult Swim in Canada tomorrow, which is now today, on December 6th. And so, guys, now anybody in those countries who's watching right now, you guys can go and watch Creature Commandos legally. But for all the people, we got a lot of British people here, so sorry. You're shit out of luck for the time being. But
again, the internet is vast. You can find them. It's not hard.
It's not hard. It is.
Yeah.
So also hello Antonio, Marco, for joining the chat. What's up? LEDZE. Haven't seen you in a while. What's up, man? Or woman, sorry. Don't mean to assume. And nice to see y'all. So we're just making our way downtown, walking fast, racing past, and we're homebound. All right. So, just letting the international people know what's up, So we care about you guys too. Just saying. And then Creature Commandos, speaking of, although number 3 in Brazil, apparently it's in America, it's number 2 on Max.
Yeah.
Does that excite you, or are you pissed that it's not number 1?
Well, no, just again, it's a brand new show, so it's not surprising that it's going to be in the top 5 at the very least, because everybody, and again, everybody's been anticipating this. There's been a lot of buzz about this. This was all over Comic-Con, every Comic-Con across around the world. So it doesn't surprise me that it's in the top 5, let alone the top 3. So I think that's great. I hope it remains there throughout the season, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But yeah, very fun. Awesome. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, we talked about it yesterday, as well as the fact we talked about a bunch of other stuff. So you got to go watch that. But if you haven't seen it yet, it's on Max. Go watch it. It's fun.
Well, there's
a lot of
Marco
fun.
saying it's already in Portugal. So thank you, Marco, just confirming that. So
thank you,
yeah.
man. We
Get out there,
appreciate
gang.
you.
Check it out. And the 2 episodes, they're 22 minutes. It goes quick. You can bang them out in one sitting. It's great.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing more, that's for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah. But now the thing that has got the chat in a hizzy, where we need to, talk
Everybody
about
calm down. Everybody calm down.
alleged reshoots. There was apparently from the Hollywood Reporter, which is credible. It's not like, the Grace Randolphs of the world. We have
Stop saying her name. Don't say her name.
Yeah, she's like Candyman, where if you say her 5 times in a mirror, she'll say another bullshit rumor that isn't true that James Gunn has to debunk instead of getting sleep. So Superman is reportedly to undergo a few days of additional shooting in Los Angeles, which is fine, guys, like I know everyone
yeah,
was
D-Man 7's going off. Listen, babe, it happens. Shit happens. Stuff happens. Things come up. People get sick. The prop guy broke something. Stuff happens. Like I think it was very wishful thinking on James Gunn's part. I don't think he should have made that comment at all because he knows shit happens. How many movies has he made? How many shows has he been a part of? But it happens. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It doesn't mean that they're going around and they're gonna fuck the movie up with editing or
yeah,
post filming stuff. But sometimes you got to go in and you got to make some adjustments, or you got to add something or tweak something, or it is what it is. So everybody calm down. They haven't changed the release date. They're still on, as far as everybody knows, they're still on track with everything. So let's just pump the brakes and just, it could be something so
yeah.
incredibly mundane that it's nothing for us
It's
to worry about.
I think yeah, I think it's just, quickly and just like a quick thing. Because there's also like a little bit of, you know, just it just like as you said, shit happens. Like
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything to get into a tizzy about.
No.
This one's saying we've heard from multiple sources about one screening in particular on the lot with a close knit crew, people you trust. We're keeping the buzz about this move itself. So, yeah, I think it's just people need to calm down, guys. Can you all just calm down?
It's not
Like,
that serious.
fuck.
Get a life. I'm telling you, get a life, gang. I'm sorry, but it's just really ridiculous.
I think in terms of like anything reshoot related, I don't think it's. I mean, it's in.
Well,
It's
and Caleb here is saying that on Threads, he said it's not reshoots, it's pickup shots. So
it's
again,
pickup shots. It's like
if you know
B-roll
anything about the
essentially. Like,
industry, that's par for the course. Like that's business
yeah,
as usual.
Jay
Again,
Kelly's.
nothing
Yeah,
has changed. If he came out and said, "Oh, we need to push the release date back," or what have you, then yes, then maybe it's time to panic. But none of that's going on. We still don't even know when we're officially getting a trailer. So everybody, calm down. Just calm down. It'll be okay.
yeah. So it's and Jay Kelly told us in the comments that James Gunn said it's a day and a half of pickup shots. Just it's from the man himself. Here we go. So here on Reddit, ignore that. It says right here, sort of, not a few days. As Jay Kelly said, again, thank you, Jay Kelly. We're doing a day and a half of pickup shots. No scenes, no reshoots, just a handful of individual shots to enhance the film. That's literally it from the man himself. So y'all can fucking calm down. There we go. Nothing is happening. It's just we're gonna get a few more shots of the bulge.
There's the shot right there. Now I'll zoom into this.
Okay, we don't. We're just getting a few more shots of the bulge, whether it's Frank Grillo's or David Cornsweat, just a few more shots of the bulge.
I feel like if we don't get a shot of Frank Grillo's bulge after what they did in Creature Commandos, they've definitely missed a key moment there. We need not only the cartoon version but the live version as well.
I mean, yeah.
Show us Frank's bulge.
It's just poor
We want Frank's
objectification
bulge.
of these men.
Hashtag
Goddamn.
we want Frank's bulge.
You know what? Hashtag we want Rachel Brosnahan.
And more merch ideas.
We gotta keep it. We gotta keep the double standards, level
more
playing
merch
field.
Ideas, Dan. Hashtag
Sarah Sampaio's tits. There we go.
Bulge.
Boom. We gotta balance it out. We can't objectify only the men. We gotta objectify the women too. Like we gotta keep it even here. We gotta keep it even. We can't have any double standards. So nothing to worry about, guys. Just
get a life.
Yeah,
get a life.
It's just like we need to get that William Shatner clip in here. Get a life.
It's true, Elite Easy. Thank you. They did. They gave us John Cena and Peacemaker. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good stuff.
I care not to see anybody's bulge. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, Antonio. You got some bulge. If you haven't
Also,
seen Creature Commandos yet,
that's
I
not true,
apologize.
Antonio. That's not true. We all enjoy a nice bold shot, men and
Yeah.
women,
I mean, who
asexuals
doesn't like
alike.
it? It's just like sometimes it's
If
nice.
it's a nice bulge, it's a nice bulge. We got to
Yeah.
give it its moment, you know?
Yeah. And even if they don't have a nice bulge, they have a nice personality. And that's okay too. So
You would hope they have a nice personality, or they're these people that are freaking out about reshoots online. Get a
yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Get a life.
Get a life. Um but yeah, so although speaking of James Gunn, so from the man himself, don't need to worry about reshoots. It's just pickup shots. It's B-roll. It's probably just a couple establishing shots. Like in
Okay.
reality, no
Right.
bulging, just in
Well,
reality.
and again, I'm looking in the
inserts.
chat here, and D-Man7 is saying that, you know, and again, we talked about this the other day, D-Man, where were you, my dear? He said he wasn't, Gunn was not thinking about adding Reeves' Batman to the DCU. Then in a recent interview, he said he contemplated it. Well, yes, of course he's going to contemplate it because he's trying to figure out where everybody fits amongst one another, and if they are going to merge any projects, and how are they going to do that thoughtfully, respectfully, in a way that makes sense for the overall universe and the worlds that they're trying to create. So yes, he did say that it would be nice to, but then he backtracked and he said, but at the end of the day, it's Reeves doing Reeves, let Reeves do Reeves. So again, let's everybody calm down. We're being very thoughtful, we're being very mindful, we're being very demure. Let James Gunn continue being demure, being thoughtful, being mindful. He's trying to do right by everybody,
Shocked.
not just the fans. He's trying to do right by the characters. He's trying to do right by the universe. He's trying to do right by the other creatives that have had their hands in this so far. So let's all just settle down.
Just have a nice
maybe maybe we
cup of
need
tea,
30 seconds
I had hot
of
chocolate
smolder
before,
from
but
John. Maybe that's what we need for everybody to calm down. If only we had some sweet, sweet background music.
let me see if I could find some sweet, sweet background music.
Give the people what they want. That's what I say. There you are.
Sounds like Minecraft music.
That's the most relaxing Minecraft music ever.
Minecraft music is very relaxing. It's like it's some good shit. That they're gonna fucking ruin in that goddamn Jack Black movie. But you know,
Jack Black needs to stop saying yes to things. Like, I appreciate, get that check, make that money, but damn, son, like, not everything needs to be greenlit. Damn.
Elite Easy, thank you. We all appreciate that. But I just wanted to give you guys a treat. Like, people are stressed right now. They need some, they need some
It's
nice
the
beer.
holidays. Tensions are high.
They're
Calm it down.
Yeah, just
calm it down. Be all right.
Every little thing is gonna be all right. Anyway, so now that we're calm, now that we're cooling it down in the chat, gonna get on these lo-fi hits of more Superman stories. Well, not really Superman stories, just James Gunn clapping back against dickwads. Yeah. We love
Again,
to see
because
it.
he doesn't sleep, apparently. I'm
He
getting
doesn't
concerned
sleep.
about him at this point. I'm getting a little worried.
He, well, I'm not too worried because, that's how CEOs are. But somebody was bitching and whining about the Kingdom Come Superman logo, where he's like, please don't use this logo. Stick to the original. Stop all those changes. Superman logo is unchangeable. And then he's like, you want us to use this, which is the Golden Age Superman logo that was introduced back in 1938. So he's like, all right, this is clearly what you want, right? All right, guys, let's change the entire movie because of this fucking idiot right here, liar man, very apropos. So,
No, he wants the Christopher Reeves S, which I understand because it is the greatest of all time, which I totally get. But everybody, again, you can just tell which people haven't been paying attention over the years, and they want what they're familiar with. They want what they know.
Bro's getting fucking ratioed right now. Like, look at this. Look at this ratio right here. Fucking weak bitch. Brother, you got cooked. You're famous for now. We can't be at this level of ignorance as a species. Damn, son, is the Alex Ross logo boat. Which original? Get a life, dude. You realize he's showing you the original logo, right? Nothing is unchangeable. Just like, bro got absolutely fucking ratioed
Well, and that's also
fucking...
what I love about James Gunn too, is that's all he needs to do. And then he's just like, go ahead, my people. Like, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it just goes to show you're not going to be able to please everybody. It doesn't matter what you do. And also, you're still going to see the movie. So stop wasting people's time with your complaints and your concerns and just shut up and just go see it. You're giving them your money anyway. Shut up. Just move on with your life.
We need that pen clip of him going like, shut the fuck up. We need so many clips up in here. We need a lot of clips here. Also I love Derek Spina, cameo by the Penguin, LOL. But Dan's not here, so let's go. Penguin, woohoo! Penguin was right. Hashtag justice for Penguin. Hashtag fuck Vic. Hashtag Vic
not
is a
surprised.
loser. Hashtag fuck
he's
Renzi
the
Feliz.
villain.
Hashtag Colin Farrell.
Dan. Yeah.
Hashtag long live Ireland. Hashtag long live Italia. Hashtag mix the flavors. Let's go.
Hashtag
Fuck
mix
Vic.
the flavors. Dan, the merch writes itself. Come on.
Vic. Hashtag Vic's
flavors.
deserve to die. He fucking deserved it.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, still R.I.P., but I wouldn't go that far.
Anyway, so last but not least, we have James Gunn also saying in his 10 millionth interview, Superman is not an ensemble movie, says James Gunn on that Instagram live that we were referencing beforehand. At the middle of everything is Clark, Lois, and Lex. It's about these three characters. Yeah. Just reiterating what we've seen before for all the people that are losing their goddamn minds for no reason about nothing. So
he did talk a little bit about Nicholas Hoult,
yeah,
with his Lex and how he's just phenomenal, which that's all we've ever seen from Nicholas Hoult. He doesn't know how to do anything half-assed. So I'm feeling a little better. You guys know I wasn't a huge fan of him in this role. I just visually, for me, it just doesn't work. But I do love Nick, and for James to say he's really happy with the way he's portrayed Lex is. I mean, what's he going to say? I chose the wrong guy. I mean, he's not going to say anything
as
shitty.
I said many times, yeah.
However, he's basically only, confirmed what I already know about Nick as an actor. So, all right, I'm going to give him a chance. Like I said, I'm seeing it regardless. So it doesn't matter what my bitching and moaning has to, again, same thing with you fine folks on the internet. Doesn't matter what any of us are going to say. We're all going to see it anyway. So we can complain afterwards if it gives us anything to complain about, but it's not looking that way so far.
It's not. So I think everyone needs to calm down, and it's just like, because I know that there's like the scared nature of people talking about like the amount of characters, because people are like joking about it, complaining about it, or there's like, oh, you don't like cameos yet you have all these characters. I was like, well, these characters are serving a purpose, so there's that. But at the same time, it's just, I don't know, I just feel that it's called Superman for a reason. As I think Dan was saying this like way back when he was like, look, who's the consistent person that's been on every set photo, on every scene that we've seen? Who's been there? Superman. David Cornsweet as Superman. So it's about him. It's always about him. Yeah, we're not seeing Lois in everyone. We're not seeing, Green Lantern or Mr. Terrific in every single, set photo we've seen. Sometimes it's just Superman. And that's Makes sense. It's a Superman movie. I know, like, people are scared because they just want this movie to be good. But again, as I was saying before, there's the fine line of just being like having some reservations. Like, I want it to be good, so I'm like, I'm scared. But then there's just the people that are just have to be dicks about everything, who are just like, fuck you for wanting to enjoy this, and screw you for wanting this, that, and this other thing. And that's just a shame, I feel. And I'm not talking about just Snyder cultists because they aren't people. We all know that. I'm just talking about, like, I don't know, like the people that bring up the rumors and the people that bring up all these negative thoughts, because for what? For nothing? For not having a life? For not having the ability to touch grass?
Gang,
Like,
there are plenty of basket weaving classes out there waiting for you to enroll. Please, by all means, learn a new skill. Find a hobby.
what
Get
are you
off the internet.
talking? What? I just D-Man 7 being weird. But that is, I think that's all we have to talk about. We kind of fucking streamed through everything real quickly. Not a ton today, and everything that was allegedly a big talking point immediately gets shut down. Jim comes like, all right, what do I have to debunk today? Oh, reshoots. Okay, yeah, gotta do that. Okay, we're done. All right, fuck all y'all. Can I fucking get 5 minutes of sleep? Y'all shut up for 10 minutes.
He's gonna take one hell of a vacation when things are. I mean, when all
Bro
this
is gonna go.
done,
He's like 2 seconds away from going
he's going
postal.
off
Like,
the grid, gang. You're not gonna hear from him for a minute. My God, the poor man, just inundated. Good
he just
Lord.
needs sleep. He just needs
Yeah.
sleep. Or maybe he needs some
Talking to
Frank
these
Grillo.
trolls, James. Leave the trolls. Just leave them. Forget about them. Leave them on red, James. It's the best thing you can do.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. So, so covered a bunch of quick stuff today. Nothing too crazy. We have lives. We just want to get back to those. I gotta watch For All Mankind because that's what Dan keeps yelling at me to watch. I just finished
I have to
Cobra Kai
watch
last
that.
night.
I have to watch Superman and Lois, apparently. You guys got to hop on Try Not to Curse podcast and listen to my great interview with Dan or with John. Dan's on there as well. Dan's on season 1. But John, my dear, his episode launched today, so check that out everywhere you listen to podcasts. You can find me. So yeah,
Guys,
chat game.
y'all need to check that out because I expand my lore. You know what? I'll just pop it in the comments. There we go.
Well, we talk about how John, as everyone knows, John is a big love of horror films. So we talk about that. We talk about how you first started your foray into YouTube, and how you hooked up with Dan, how you got onto this channel.
Yeah, we
So
hooked up.
we cover a lot of things, people. So hop
Yeah.
on, and I hope you like it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, thank you for watching, ladies. It's a bit of a shorter episode today, but you know what? We had a really fucking long one yesterday. All right. The weekend is almost here. We just want to go and just sleep for a year and then just, not have to worry about this. Not for a year, but at least for 2 days straight. Plus, I got to get my Christmas tree tomorrow. So,
There you go.
So thank you for joining us. Got to go through all the people that joined us today. Antonio Baker, Alides Yee, D-Man 7, Marco Ramos,
Hugo.
Ron showed up, Derek Spina, Amin, Michael K,
Fiona.
Lizz was in the chat for a little bit.
Yeah.
K-Lab, Michael K, I think I mentioned him already. Antonio Baker, Jay Kelly, Hunter Iggy, Hugo, George Chico. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for watching. Please like if you haven't liked. 14 likes. Come on, guys. We could bump those rookie numbers up. Come on now. And comment if you're watching late. If you're not watching us live, comment. You might be featured on a future episode. Please subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, click the bell. I know we go, on at weird times, but we try our best. But that is about it for today. Thank you for watching.
Look up a basket weaving class near you.
Basket weaving, knitting. Honestly, smoking would be a better hobby at this point. At least you'll die faster, before the meteor hits us, before Elon Musk takes over the world, whatever it is.
We're going deep now. Let's.
We're going a little bit too far. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday for another DCU Daily.